Well, shalom, shalom.
All I wanna do is soar in my purpose, yeah, what you created me to do. Oh yeah, in my purpose, oh yeah, what you created me to do. All I wanna do is soar. All I wanna do is soar in my purpose, yeah, what you created me to do. Oh yeah, in my purpose, oh yeah, what you created me to do. All I wanna do is soar. All I wanna do is soar in my purpose, yeah, what you created me to do. Oh yeah, in my purpose, oh yeah, what you created me to do.
Alright, that was recorded today, 5/11/25. Soar in my purpose. That's the name of that melody. And yes, that's all I want to do. All I want to do is what's been inscribed upon my spirit. Now I'm not sure if I'm gonna keep the name of this audio. You have been ignoring us to your own detriment. I'm not sure if we're gonna keep that name. I might end up changing the name later. Um, Nevertheless, that's just what came to me with this audio that I recorded earlier today. All right, I'm gonna try to get it all done, but no guarantees. Okay, um, so let's just jump into it. All right, it's about maybe 40 something minutes. So not sure how much we can get done, but I'm gonna try to do as much as I can. But I haven't eaten anything today, so I am a little hungry, but I can go ahead and get on here and do a little bit of work before I prepare something for me to eat. Okay, I want to feed the people. All right, that's what I'm here to do. Okay, so let's go ahead and switch this over here. And yeah, I got my Google up and ready. I didn't bring any slides up or anything like that just yet. But I'm gonna be flowing by way of the Spirit, people. I have no idea what all the Father is gonna want me to bring forward. All right. But I am happy that I have this opportunity to try to bring these things forward. Okay. Now, I'm not sure in the upload speed. I tried to upload that physical video the other day. Since I received a passcode in order to access the internet in my apartment, but I couldn't upload it with the internet here in the apartment, so I had to go to the apartment complex office in order to use their Wi-Fi to upload that video. Um, so I'm not sure about the upload speed. Hopefully it will allow me to upload this video, but I don't want it too long to where it's too big of a file, because it seems like the upload speed is not that great. Okay, but let's just go ahead and jump in.
Yep, this is being recorded right now because it's on my heart, and I was already like talking basically to myself, or to the Father, because anytime you're talking with yourself, you're talking with the Father. You're talking, and if you're doing it audibly, hell, the angelic host can hear. So anyway, I was already in my head. And I'm just like, Father, I appreciate the fact that I can see spiritually. I appreciate the fact that you've endowed me with spiritual clarity and understanding. I absolutely love the fact that you've given unto me the spirit of peace. Yes, literally, his spirit of peace. This comes with the clarity and the understanding. This comes with the confirmations, the validations. Thus far, there's been a lot of spiritual validation and mental validation. I'm seeing it in the scriptures. All right? So to me, that's physical. This physical when I can physically read it with my physical mortal eyes. You get what I'm saying? Like when I'm given the spiritual clarity and the understanding to the life that I have been forced to live, the life that I have been living, okay? Knowing that I've always wanted understanding. I wanted to understand why things were being forced upon me. Why I was born in a world where everyone around me is imposing their will upon me and refusing to allow me to be me. Okay, do you not realize what this would do to a free spirit wrapped in flesh? So yes, I was born upon this earth in a mortal body, just like everybody else.
All right. So as you can see, I put here, if you can't see what's going on, you are spiritually blind. For I do not desire, brethren, that you be ignorant of this mystery, lest you should be wise in your own opinion, that blindness in part has happened to Israel, true Israel, until the fullness of the Gentiles be come in. All right, that is the completion of their time. Okay, that's the completion of the time frame of the worst of the heathen, when the children of light is awakened. Okay, now we have been awakened, therefore I am no longer spiritually blinded. All right, I've always had the eyes to see, but I didn't have any spiritual clarity nor understanding. Okay, so when we're all born into this world, having everything imposed upon us, most people conform to that. All right, most people conform to that, and they don't have no problem conforming to that because it's easy. It's easier to conform and not stand out, not stick out like a sore thumb, because you're not conformed. Okay, when you're not conformed into a society that's imposing conformity of everybody, you basically become an adversary to the system. And because you're an adversary to the system, all those who are attached to the system look at you like you're the problem. All right? So this is how I've been treated all my life, like I'm a problem. All right? Now, fortunately, this is fortunate, people. You are you're totally dismissing and rejecting your help via eternal benevolence. All right? Because eternal benevolence seated us here. I was seated here by eternal benevolence. I was put here to rebel against this system. I was put here to give you an option. Those who are willing to let go of this superficial reality that's being imposed upon all of humanity, to cleave to the true and living God and his resurrected remnant. Those of us that are being obedient. So, yes, it's fortunate for those of you that will have the ears to hear, the heart to receive, and the eyes to see. So, fortunately, yes, some are born with spiritual immune systems that sooner or later give rejection to the illusory worldview grafted upon us from birth through social conditioning. We begin sensing that something is wrong. Therefore, we start looking for answers, inner knowledge, and then let me look this word up again. Deviating from what is standard, normal, or expected. That's me in a nutshell. Abnormal, non-typical, all right? Irregular, okay? Yes, they consider me a freak, odd, bizarre, peculiar. See, the scripture talks about his peculiar people. Hold on, people. This is my PC is really slow. I'm trying here though. Try my best. Come on, come on, come on. Peculiar people. Alright? The living stone. Alright? I'm not a carbon copy robot. Alright? I'm a living stone. I am a living witness. But you are a chosen people, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a people for the true and living God's own possession, to proclaim the virtues of him who called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. Okay? Now, if you will indeed obey my voice and keep my commandment, my covenant, you will be my treasured possession out of all the nations, for the whole earth is mine. And unto me you shall be a kingdom of priests and a holy nation. These are the words you are to speak unto the Israelites. I am an Israelite. Yes, I am. I am of the covenant seed of this land. The people he formed for himself will declare his praise. I am here to glorify my God of eternal benevolence. I am not here to glorify and worship the false god of money. For you are a people holy to the Most High God, your God of eternal benevolence. The Lord, your God, has chosen you to be a people for his prized possession out of all peoples upon the face of the earth. I am here for a reason. He has made us to be a kingdom of priests to serve our God. And yes, he's going to cause us to reign upon the earth in righteousness. Right. They be irritating me with this. He did not give himself to redeem us from lawlessness. All right? He did not die on a cross in order so that we can just reject his commandments and live in our carnal flesh and not have to keep his eternal law. All right? That's the erroneous doctrine of Christianity. That you seriously think that his blood is covering your sins. So now you don't have to keep any of his commandments. You don't have to love your neighbor as thyself. You can just be selfish as you want to be. You can be puffed up in your pride and your arrogance. You can participate in jealousy, envy, all of these things. All because you didn't confess the blood of Jesus. But that's a whole nother route, people. All right? We are to purify ourselves. Yes, we are. We are to freaking turn from lawlessness and choose to walk in righteousness. Then we will be a people for his own possession. Zealous for good deeds. We should rejoice to do good deeds, not revel in evil deeds, not revel in selfishness and greed. For you were once in darkness, but now you are the light in the Lord. Therefore we are to walk as the children of light. That's what I'm doing. You will be called the priests of the Lord, and they will speak of you as ministers of our God. You will feed on the wealth of the nations. Why does this say this? Because we are not here to earn money. The nations that were allotted over to these lands to build a successful life for themselves, and now they're prosperous and they're wealthy, they are to fill us where we are lacking. Therefore, we will feed on the wealth of the nations in righteousness, and we will boast in the love of eternal benevolence, as they bestow their riches unto us, their physical riches. Because we have the spiritual riches. We have the spiritual wealth that all you nations are desperately needing. They will be mine, said the Most High of Hosts, on the day when I prepare my treasured possession, and I will spare them as a man spares his own son who serves him. Okay? He only rescues his portion. Now we do have to choose to be obedient. Nevertheless, there is predetermination. And that predetermination is that the fact that he knew in his foreknowledge the choices we would make. Therefore, the scriptures have been written, prophecies have been foretold of who is his and who is not his. Okay? So, yes, he selected the ones which he knew in foreknowledge would choose him. Okay? And I'm one of them people that he knew in foreknowledge would choose him. So before I was ever born, he knew that I would choose him in my mortality. Before we were formed in the womb, Before we were formed, our fleshly body was being formed in a womb. Understand, people? It goes way deeper than his surface level thinking, all right? And those who translated our records, okay? Because they blend good and evil, and they put that on one deity, okay? Our flesh was not created by eternal benevolence, but we'll get into that later, okay? Our spirit was formed by eternal benevolence, okay? By the benevolent realm, all right? Now, he says, I knew you. And before you were born, I set you apart and appointed you as a prophet to the nations. All right? So I don't call myself no prophet. Nevertheless, the life that I am living lines up to this. Okay? So it says, yes, he chose us, but we still had to choose him. All right? Well, I still had to choose to be obedient. Okay? I could have chose to dismiss the spirit of truth. All right? I could have chose to be stiff-necked and puffed up in my pride and arrogance and go with what I've been taught to believe all my life like majority of people. But that's not what I chose. I chose to humble myself like a little child and accept the reproof via the spirit of truth and apply the living word to my life and live it. So yes, I have been appointed to go and bear fruit that will remain, so that whatever we ask for in the name of eternal benevolence, he will give it unto us in its season. It's not instantaneous, because we have to go through all of these trials and tribulation, refining us, defining us, so that no one can ever claim that we're charlatans. You can claim it all you want, but we go through the refinement process for the purposes of proving that we truly belong to eternal benevolence. No. No, I came here because of the peculiar people. Let's see, where's the King James Version? Here, alright. But you are a chosen generation, a royal priesthood, a holy nation, a peculiar people. Okay? Special people. Peculiar people. Alright? A holy nation. A people for his own possession, so that we may proclaim the excellencies of him that called us out of darkness into his marvelous light. See, majority of humanity is not esteeming eternal benevolence. They're esteeming their money and their materialistic things. And they're just vainly professing to love and serve the true and living God of eternal benevolence. But their hearts are after their money and their materialistic things. Okay? So, this
anomalous,
okay? It goes to this here. Alright? Inner knowledge and anomalous outer experiences show us a side of reality that others are oblivious to. Alright? So this anomalous reality, okay? In this context, alright, they begin sensing that something is wrong and start looking for answers. Inner knowledge and anonymous, let me get that freaking posted.
anomalous,
Anomalous anomalous outer experiences, all right, abnormal, non-typical, irregular, all right, freakish, bizarre, all right, unusual. This is not peculiar in a good way, people. Back asswards, okay? We live in an upside down, backwards ass society, okay? Yes, though I am his peculiar people, I am not of this world. This world is back asswards, okay? That's what this is meaning by using that term, okay? Show us a side of reality that others are oblivious to. And so begins our journey of awakening. All right? Each step of the journey is made by following the heart instead of following the crowd, and by choosing knowledge over the veils of ignorance. Okay? Deviant. All right? I'm considered deviant, but I'm not deviant. The ways of this world is deviant. The ways of this world in this capitalistic society. That's deviant. That's deviant behavior. Let me see if I can this. Departing from usual or accepted standards. Okay? Now, we are instructed by the true and living God to love one another as thyself. But this system is completely divergent from that. Okay? But because I was born into this system, this antichrist system, this satanic system, I am considered a divergent because I don't conform to the deviance of this system. Therefore, I am a divergent. Okay? Tending to be different. Alright? I'm dissimilar. I am unlike. Alright? I am set apart. I disagree. I oppose the ways of this world. I clash in this world. I clash with most people because most people are conformed to the ways of this world. I am incompatible with most people because most people is conformed to the ways of this world. I'm contradictory. I'm contrary to the ways of this world. Okay? I have been called out of this world. Alright? He called me out of this world. He called me out of darkness into his marvelous light. Therefore, I am contrary to this world. Alright? So because I'm contrary to the ways of this world, I am persecuted in this world. Alright? Because most people cannot see spiritually. They are spiritually blinded. And they can only see what is tangible. They only think about what's physical, what they can see with their physical mortal eyes. Okay? But they're not understanding the time frame that we were born in. Okay? Now let's continue.
But I had a spiritual connection. Like, I was a free spirit. Okay? I don't know how to explain this to people. But because I was a free spirit, I did not take well to dictatorship because I knew that I was supposed to be free. All right, I knew that I don't fit in boxes, but all my life I'm being forced and shoved into boxes, and like people literally trying to duct tape down the box. Like you gonna be in this box, like bro, this has been my life. All right, so I will tear up out of the box, and then I'm demonized. I'm scorned because I don't want to be in that box. I damn sure wasn't comfortable when I was in that box. And do you know the biggest box of them all is this economic reality, this capitalistic society, where it's all about making money, having money, and a whole bunch of materialistic things. Being a successful adult. That is the biggest box that I broke up out of, and it caused the whole damn world to hate me. Because I'm telling you crystal clearly, I'm not on this earth to earn money. Why you want to be mad at me? Because I am aware that I was not sent to this earth to earn money for a living. If people want to stay in that box, that's their choice. And I understand the reason why people choose that choice.
Yes, I do, and I'm gonna play that back in just a second. Okay. Um, People want to be mad at me because I don't want to participate in this. All right. I don't want to participate in that. This is not the life for me. Okay. I don't care about money enough to spend my time, energy, and effort earning it. Especially when I have the spiritual clarity and understanding that money is a false god. Okay, it did not come from eternal benevolence. All right. Therefore, I cannot do this. I can't do this any longer. Okay. This is a way of life in modern society in which people compete with each other for power and money. See, we have all been taught and thoroughly programmed, all right, groomed into participating in this wickedness. But yet it is the complete opposite of how we were instructed to live by the true and living God. This is not loving one another as thyself. This is getting what you can get for yourself and screw the next man. That ain't the type of society I want to live in. Though this is the society I was born in. But just because I'm not complacent with this does not give other people the right to try to force me into complacency with this. All right? You should embrace the fact that I'm not complacent with this. You should want to assist me to soar in my spiritual mission, to free all humanity from this hell. Because this is misery, people. Don't you understand? That's misery. It's misery being a slave to the God of money. No man on earth is truly free. All are slaves of money or necessity. Now, because I am in this mortality and I refuse to be a slave to money, by default, I am a slave to necessity. And within this society, that's looked down upon, that is scorned. I'm seen as a burden upon the population. Because now They want to look at it as now they have to take care of me. No, you don't have to do it. No, you don't. Only those who are righteous, only those who are correct in their heart condition, only those who have the correct mentality will do righteously and sow out of their abundance with their free agency. I am not demanding anything of anybody, but you want to be mad at me that I don't want to be a slave to money. Therefore, by default, it's made me a slave of necessity. I don't have any might in my hands to overturn this, people. It is either be a slave of money or be a slave of necessity. Well, while I am a slave of necessity, I am doing the will of eternal benevolence to freely give you people spiritual clarity and understanding. Yet you don't think that I deserve to have my bare necessities? Because I refuse to be a slave to the God of money? The reason why people have shut up their bowels of compassion is for fear of public persecution and prosecution. Many of the people, well, I didn't, there wasn't, many, but the few that was helping me, no longer are helping me. Somebody must have gotten to them and threatened to, persecute them, threatened to, slander them. I don't know, like fear of, being alone, not having friends, not having family, fear of not having support. Therefore, they stop their support of me and this truth that I've been instructed to speak. Therefore, I've been left alone to long suffer and endure not having my necessities. These people have been forced against their own conscience to conform to the ways of this world, the mentality of this world. Root hog or die poor. See, they must have got in their ear talking about I'm using them. I'm a leech. I should be a responsible adult and take care of myself. I should be a responsible adult and be a slave to the God of money like everybody else. Never mind the spiritual wealth that I'm freely giving. They want me to join the rat race for self-preservation, preserving my physical body upon the earth, my flesh upon the earth. But I'm a living stone. I'm not here to be conformed to the ways of this world. Creative people don't fit in boxes. Think outside the box. This is a giant box that we were born in. And I broke up out this box by the leading of the Holy Spirit. I have been instructed to do what I'm doing. I didn't just jump out here and do it of my own accord. But I'm keeping his eternal law of divine love. And I'm reminding you that we were instructed to love one another as thyself, not be selfish, not be stiff necked and puffed up in pride and arrogance, casting off eternal benevolence. But when you are spiritually blinded, you cannot see the spiritual things that I'm instructed to speak unto you. Even though you can clearly see that you are in an evil world. You clearly know that you're ruled by evil people. You know that the earth has been given into the hands of the wicked. You know this. But yet you cast it off. Come on. This computer is so old, people. It's going on 10 years old. It'll be 10 years old next year. Alright? The earth is given into the hands of the wicked, or more so allotted, okay? Eternal benevolence allotted the earth into the hands of the wicked, okay? Because we were the judges. We were the ones that he set up in authority. All right, we were the ones given dominion originally, okay? But the wicked covered our faces. They whitewashed everything. Now everything is pale skin. From the Messiah to, all of the leaders of religion, all right, which is a counterfeit for righteousness, okay? But they took bits and pieces of our records in order to create their erroneous religions with the doctrines and precepts of mortal men, okay? And they use pale faces in order to spread it as, benevolence. Like white is pure, white is innocent, black is evil, black is demonic. So he covered our faces. He covered the faces of the judges, the original people. If not, where and who is he? See, why are you looking to them people over there in that created state of Israel as the true people of eternal benevolence? Are they operating in benevolent attributes? It seems more to me that that's the synagogue of Satan. Murdering people, murdering innocents, taking lands by force, enslaving people, dominating over people. That's the opposite of benevolence. But yet here is little old me operating in benevolent energy. But you don't want to believe that I'm one of his covenant people. This connects to Psalms 83, people. Oops. Let me move this stuff out of my way so I can type. I'll just put KJV. Alright, Psalms 83 KJV. Alright. Now, they have taken, alright, thine enemies made a tumult. This is those who have the earth, okay, the wicked. The earth allotted into the hands of the wicked, alright? They are our enemies, and they made a tumult, okay? They that hate eternal benevolence have lifted up their head, okay? They have taken crafty counsel against his people. And they have consulted against his hidden ones. Okay? They covered the faces of the judges. Therefore, we are hidden. If not, where or who is he? Why is it that you are completely oblivious to who the true chosen people are? Or who his true covenant people are? Let's find out why. They took crafty counsel against his people and consulted against his hidden ones. They have said, "Come, let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance." But now there's a created state of Israel. And there's a people that call themselves Israeli. That's not the same people that have been covered. That's not the same people who they took crafty counsel against. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against us. Then it lists all these nations, starting with Edom. All of these nations are confederate against his people. You got the United Nations that is confederate. They're united against us. They established themselves in 1945. All of these pale-skinned Indo-Europeans. These are Gentiles that set themselves up in authority, writing the laws and the legislations without a moralistic bone in their body. Today, you will see other ethnic groups kind of a little scattered throughout, but none of our people, unless they are completely brainwashed. You ever seen the movie, I think Get Out? The movie Get Out, where they were taking our body and implanting their minds inside of our body? This is what they did through the educational institution. So they caused us to vomit up our wisdom and accept their false ass reality. This from the Odes of Solomon. All right? They caused us to drink the wine of their intoxication. This is the deceiver and the error, imitating the beloved and his bride, causing the whole world to err, corrupting it. You can look around in the state of your world, and you can see corruption everywhere. You can see perversion everywhere. It's no longer hidden. They put it in the cartoons where your children are watching. Invited many to the wedding feast. Allowed them to drink the wine of their intoxication. So it caused them to vomit up their wisdom and their knowledge, preparing them for mindlessness, being a carbon copy robot to this satanic ass system, conformed to this satanic ass system, with no spiritual understanding. You can't see spiritually because you gave up your free agency to choose eternal benevolence, and you just blindly follow after the ways of this system. So now you're stumbling around like a mad and corrupted man. You're mentally corrupted. Your heart is corrupted. Therefore your heart is hardened, and you have seared your conscience. And now there's no understanding in you. And most of you do not seek it. And because you're not seeking any kind of spiritual clarity or understanding, you cast me off as worthless. Nevertheless, your opinion doesn't matter. The fact that you see me as worthless, the fact that you think I am irrelevant. I have been made wise so as to not fall into the hands of the deceivers. And I myself rejoice because the truth had gone with me. I rejoice in the clarity and the understanding. Spiritual wealth, wisdom from eternal benevolence. For I was established and lived and was redeemed, and my foundations were laid on account of Yahusha's hand, because he had planted me. The hand of loving kindness, the hand of mercy, is about his attributes, not his physical name, not a physical pronunciation of a literal name. It's about the attributes, people. For he set the root and watered it and endowed it and blessed it, and its fruits will be forever. It penetrated deeply and sprang up and spread out, and it was full and it was enlarged. And loving kindness alone will be glorified in his planting and in his cultivation, in his care and in the blessing of his lips, in the beautiful planting of his right hand, and in the attainment of his planting, and in the understanding of his mind. Yes, sir, yes, ma'am. I was sent here for a reason, to rebel against this satanic ass system. Look at all of these nations that are joined together against his people. It started out in 1945 as these people. After they then raped, robbed, murdered, plundered, pillaged, tortured, murdered, slaughtered, and took prisoner the remnant of the indigenous people of all the lands that they colonized. They are not of the true and living God of eternal benevolence. They were used by the adversary and the forces of malevolence. All of these nations. Okay? So, you're complacent in a world that was established by the wicked. And you are refusing to humble yourself like a little child to unlearn the wicked ways of this world and choose to follow after the obedient covenant remnant, because we've been resurrected by way of his spirit. Okay? You need to realize that nobody is free, people. You think you're free because you got money and materialistic things, but that only makes you a slave to the god of money. That only makes you subservient to this wicked ass system, because the moment that money and your materialistic things is devalued, who are you then? What are you when this whole economic system is destroyed? Who are you then? Who are you without your money and materialistic things? Hold on a second. Here it is. There is a way that seems right unto a man. We're born into a world that's requiring money from us. It seems right to be a responsible adult to pay those who are requiring this money from us. That's what we're taught by the system. But you cannot serve both the true and living God of eternal benevolence and the God of money. Okay? You're going to have to make a choice, one or the other. See? This system glorifies money. All right? You're going to have to turn from that. You're going to have to turn from praising and glorifying this money, this system. You're going to have to change your mentality from this to, hold on, let me get it. Because first of all, you can't take none of that with you. Okay? Okay, let me bring it up here. All right. 1 John 3:17. Okay? You're going to have to turn from worshiping money, all right, to loving one another, okay? As thyself, all right? If anyone with earthly possessions, money that's been established by the worst of the heathen, sees his brother in need, clearly you see me in need, all right? Well, you have been withholding your compassion from me, bruh. You have been withholding your compassion from me. So how can the love of the true and living God really abide in you when you withhold compassion, knowing that this money is being required of us, and you have an abundance of this money, seeing me in need, instead of helping me, you withhold your compassion from me. How can the love of the true and living God abide in you? That's not what's within your heart. The love of the true and living God of eternal benevolence is not in your heart. Instead, the love of money is in your heart. That's in your heart. See, where it should be divine love is money. That's what is within you. And when this economic system is destroyed, that means you're going to be destroyed with the system, because you gave your all to something that was merely temporary, not eternal. Selfishness, greed, and capitalism. I didn't create this. So who are you without money and materialistic things, people? You should ask yourself that, because we're supposed to be love. We're supposed to be extensions of benevolence. That's what's eternal. But if you choose to be, where's that? This, if you choose to be this, then you're you're going to be destroyed because that's the choice that you made. Okay? Little children, let us not love in word and in speech, but in action and in truth. And will assure our hearts in his presence. Okay? The Most High is greater than our hearts, and he knows all things. He knows what's within the deepest crevice of our heart. All right? As long as you are not convicted within your heart, see, many of these people, they shut up their bowels of compassion to me and hate on me because I'm convicting them within their conscience and within their heart by speaking the eternal living word by the way of the Spirit. Therefore, they're angered, they're triggered. Okay? So their hearts are condemning them. And so they want to claim that I'm condemning them. But I'm not the one that's condemning them. Their heart is condemning them. So they're going to have to change their heart if they truly love eternal benevolence. But if they don't truly love eternal benevolence, then they're going to hold to the God of money. Where's that at? Where's it at? Okay, here. All right? Therefore, this is why the scripture says that you cannot serve both the true and living God and money. You can only love and serve one or the other. Okay? It does not mix. All right? You have to make a choice. Whether your heart is going to be compassionate, loving, empathetic, generous, or hardened to all of that. And a lover of money. Where is that? This right here. Okay? You got to make a choice. If our hearts do not condemn us, we have confidence before the true and living God. My heart ain't condemning me to do what I've been doing. I'm not convicted in my conscience to flow by way of the Spirit and freely give his oracles for all who can receive it. I will be able to receive from him whatever I ask. And I've been asking for my freedom eternally, not temporarily, living paycheck to paycheck, enslaved to the God of money. I'm going to be granted what I've asked for because I keep his commandments and I'm doing what is pleasing in his sight. And this is his commandment, that we should obey. We should obey the name of his son. What's the name of his son? Righteousness. Loving kindness. Compassion. Obey these commandments. All right? Trust in these commandments. Trust in benevolence. Trust in loving kindness. I realize that we were born into a world that is everything contrary to this. I realize that saying that nice guys finish last. That's because of the time frame we were born in, people. That's because of the worst of the heathen in this satanic ass system that they established. Nevertheless, you are not to cast off eternal benevolence, nor his son, who came here to demonstrate divine love and benevolence with his life. all the way from birth to death. All right? So we should trust in eternal benevolence and loving kindness and compassion and all of these things. Trust in that. That is embedded within your conscience, people. That was inscribed upon your spirit and written upon your heart. Trust in that. Know that we are to love one another, just as he instructed of us. Whoever keeps his commandments remains in eternal benevolence. And eternal benevolence will be within him. And by this is how we know that he remains in us. Not by what we confess out our mouth and or psych ourselves out to believe. By this we know that he remains in us, by the Spirit he has given us. The spirit of compassion, the spirit of love, divine love, the spirit of mercy, the spirit of empathy, the spirit of generosity. All of these are the sweet fruits of the Spirit that we are to obtain and hold within our heart. Not, where is it, bro? Not this, okay? This is contrary to the fruits of the Spirit. This is all about selfishness. Okay? So, understand, people. This is evil, okay? You cannot take any of this when you leave this mortality. But you're spending all your time, energy, and effort storing up all of this materialistic wealth, depriving the poor of our bare necessities. That is pure evil. There's a way that seems right unto a man, but in the end thereof are the ways of death and destruction. You cannot serve two masters, for either you will love one and hate the other, or you will hold to the one and despise the other. You cannot serve both the true and living God and money. Okay? I'm here to help you see. Okay? Now, we're a little over an hour. Let's go ahead and go.
If people want to stay in that box, that's their choice. And I understand the reason why people choose that choice. I get it. Yes, it's imposed. If you don't have money, then you will suffer the consequences. For the last 3 years, I have been suffering the consequences. See, people want to believe that I just been had a great life. No, I've been long suffering with the hardness of hearts of the people. All while I've been freely giving all of this spiritual wealth, repeatedly, relentlessly, by any means necessary. See, I was born in a world that was the complete opposite. It was by any means necessary to get that money. But by any means necessary, I'm giving you his word by the way of the Spirit. despite the world that I was born in that tried to keep me from it.
That's exactly what this world is all about. Okay, hold on a second. Bro, I'm trying not to make these things so long. All about the Benjamins and all of that. Hold on. Get rich or die trying. That's another one. Okay, I'm going to pull that up on the Google. Alright, all about the Benjamins. They program you with this, okay? Get rich or die trying. Using our people to program us with this. Have a baby, because you know you got to take care of your baby, you know. So they created criminals. The system created criminals because in order to feed their baby, they have to have money. And I'm not even trying to go too deep, people, but many of these corporations would not hire most of my brothers. I had a hard time trying to get jobs within this system. I hated filling out job applications and freaking going to interviews, and it felt like I'm having to sell myself for the reward of money. Also, I can turn around and pay that money for me to live my life upon the earth. It didn't make sense to me. Okay? So now I have the clarity and the understanding. 2005, they were programming our people with this get rich or die trying. Get money by any means necessary. Make money by any means necessary. Human beings need money to pay for all the things that make your life possible. You see this indoctrination? That is a lie. Because this earth was created with everything that we needed to sustain our life. The only reason that we're needing money now is because of the worst of the heathen who set up this system. One second. Give me one moment to find it right quick. Shouldn't be that far down. That was established by the Federal Reserve. If I can find it here. Yeah, there it is. Modern slavery. Okay. Alright. Economic slavery. This did not come from eternal benevolence. This came from the people that colonized the lands of the indigenous people. Alright? And now they are requiring the indigenous people to feed and house ourselves. Okay? By earning their money that they established. Alright? And not only us, but now all humanity and all creation is being required to earn money in order to feed and house themselves. It is one of the most ingenious scams for social manipulation ever created. And at its core, it is an invisible war against the population. Okay? So, this is a whole lie. It's only being required for us to pay for all the things that make this life possible. But this ain't real life. This ain't the real reality. This is a false reality that we were all born in during the times of the worst of the heathen, as the wicked have possession of the earth. So all this is subservience to the wicked. You're complacent. with the wicked. You're complacent with the reward of money so that you can pay for all of the things that make this physical life possible in this reality. But we were provided for by the eternal living God everything that we needed for shelter and food, and we wouldn't need health care bills if we ate that which grows from the earth instead of that which was born upon earth and slaughtered. Therefore now you're eating dead bodies. We don't need no good education. That's nothing but indoctrination. We have wisdom from the true and living God as he gave us a conscience. We're supposed to be seeking our maker, not the wisdom of this world, via the educational institutions, which is more like indoctrination institutions. So, understand, people, this is satanic, and it was forced upon us. All right, one more time.
By any means necessary. See, I was born in a world that was the complete opposite. It was by any means necessary to get that money. But by any means necessary, I'm giving you his word by the way of the Spirit. Despite the world that I was born in that tried to keep me from it.
They want me spending all my time, energy, and effort focused on earning money so that I will never have the time to seek for eternal benevolence and clarity and understanding. Nevertheless, I was destined to do it. I was destined to seek the clarity and the understanding. Therefore, this is what I have obtained. And I've been instructed to freely give it unto all those who can receive it. Because I was chosen to be a royal priesthood. I am of the holy nation, a people for his own possession, to proclaim the virtues, the righteousness, the beneficence, the benevolence of him who called me out of darkness into his marvelous light. Once I was not a people. To this day, you still denying the fact that we are his people. You're still denying the fact that we are the true biblical people. Majority of the world is denying the fact that we are the people. But the whole world is going to know that we are the people of the true and living God. He said, once you had not received mercy, all of this time I have not received mercy. But he says, now you will receive mercy. Because now we're in the time where all you nations, if you are righteous, if you're prosperous and you're righteous, you truly love the true and living God of eternal benevolence, then you will begin to have mercy upon his people. Especially upon his obedient servants.
You didn't want me to find my purpose. The world did not want me to find my purpose. And now, all of humanity all around me, including my own family, don't want me to soar in my purpose. Want to shut up their bowels of compassion unto me. Each year has gotten harder and harder for the past 3 years that I've been doing this under direction and leading of the Holy Spirit. See, you just want to throw it off, ignore it, like as if I'm blowing smoke. Don't you know that the true and living God uses those that the world despises? Ask yourself why you despise me. Oh, you know that you despise me. For if you did not despise me, then you wouldn't go out of your way to stonewall me. Your actions speak louder than your words. You say you love me, but you get hundreds of thousands of dollars saved in a savings account or a safe deposit box or safe so wherever the hell you have it stored upon the earth. Knowing that we live in a world where money is being required from everybody. You know that I'm being required to have this money. But you want to force me into spending my time, energy, and effort earning what is required. And you cast off the oracles of eternal benevolence to love one another as thyself, to not do to others things you would not want done to yourself, to do for others that which you would want done for yourself. You treat me as the punching bag of society because I refuse to do what you do. Want to twist it and turn it all around, gaslighting me, claiming that I'm a leech. Where I can take you in the spiritual records and show you how this is what you would do.
Now, people, I do want to do that, but what I'm thinking is that I'm going to go ahead and stop here, all right? And because this is an hour and 22 minutes, I think it's about an hour and 22 minutes. I don't know how this is counting it. It might, I don't know how this is counting it. I think it is an hour and 22 minutes. So, I'm going to go ahead and end it here. I will return when I can, okay? Most likely, maybe tomorrow. I think I got something to do tomorrow. But, people, I got to get some food in me, okay? I'm hungry, and I got a long ways to go on this audio, and I am tapped in my spirit to show you, take you into spiritual records, but I need to commune with my father to know exactly where to go, because I don't have any notes. Okay, I don't have no notes whatsoever, but I know that I've come across it before. Actually, in several locations, in how we would be treated in this time, that we're rebelling against this system. Okay. And this is with any of his real servants. We all have to go through long suffering, the wicked, okay? Long suffering, the hardened hearts of the people, okay? So anyway, I want to be refreshed, and I want to be able to not be pressed for time and my stomach growling and all of these things, so that I can completely 100% focus on what the Father wants me to do, and bring forward to you, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and end it here and upload this, and I will be back to hopefully give you more of this tomorrow, okay? Shalom.